Welcome to Detox with Us. On today's episode, we're talking about Lymphatic 101. We're diving deep into the lymphatic system. What is it, how it works, and how it impacts your life, and what you can also do about it. So let's just get straight into it, okay? What is the lymphatic system? Well, this is the key statement that I want you to take away. Your body is your home, literally. We can compare the lymphatic system to a house and how a house works. For example, you have a house, right? We all have a bathroom. Well, I hope you have a bathroom. And that bathroom is very similar to how your cells in your body eliminate waste. When we eat food, we need to eliminate that and we go to the toilet, right? Well, our cells, trillions and trillions of cells in our body, give off metabolic waste, and that needs to be eliminated. And so the lymphatic system is the bathroom, okay? And so the cells eliminate waste into the lymph system, just as we eliminate our excretion or what we eat into the toilet. Now, in a house, the waste goes down the pipes into what is called a septic tank, which lays underground. Now, it is transported through pipes, right? Pipes that run through the house and go all the way under the ground and into the septic tank. Well, we have something called lymph vessels or lymph capillaries. And lymph capillaries are what transport that cellular waste inside, that have been transported into the lymph system. They transport that into something we call the lymph nodes. The lymph nodes are exactly like a septic tank that is underneath your house. Now, a septic tank contains a lot of bacteria, and that bacteria is designed to really break down that waste matter that you've just eliminated into the toilet. At the same time, our lymph system has what are called the lymph nodes, and the lymph nodes contain lymphocytes and bacteria that also break down that cellular waste, things that cannot be broken down otherwise. And so the lymph nodes in the body play a very similar role to the septic tank underneath your house. And so that's how it kind of works. And so just as the septic tank then leaches that waste into a leach field, which is basically an underground area, once that waste has been broken down in the septic tank, it has to be exported, eliminated, and transported somewhere. And it's usually a leach field. And so it's buried under the ground for it to decompose further, and that system is then recycled. Well, just as that process happens in our house or, in the environment, well, we also eliminate that waste through the skin, kidneys, lungs, and bowels. So the lymph nodes transport that broken down waste to the skin, to the kidneys, to the lungs or the bowels, for it then to be finally gotten rid of outside of the body. These are the main ways the body eliminates waste. Through our skin. Our skin contains thousands and thousands and thousands of pores. And so our lymph system is heavily connected to the skin. And so when we sweat, we give off toxic waste. Oftentimes many of us are smelling and we have bad BO. You basically just have a lot of toxemia and toxic waste coming out of you. And that toxic waste can smell, especially if you're eating putrefying foods or fermented foods. Not eating fermented foods, sorry, if food is fermenting inside of your body. That's what we kind of want to avoid when it comes to nutrition, but more episodes in the future on that. And so, again, your body is your home, literally. And if we think of how the bathroom and how the septic tank works and how that kind of economy works, we get a good indication of how it works inside of ourselves. That's one way to learn and think about it. Well, here are some of the factors that block lymph flow. See, what happens in many of us, and arguably a lot of us, is see this septic tank here. What happens if this septic tank cannot leach that waste into the leach field? If it can't get rid of that waste, that level there, this level here, it will rise and the septic tank will become full. It would overfill. And that is a mess, because once that backs up and that overfills, where does that waste go? It goes back up those pipes into your house. That is not a good environment to have. Imagine all that waste backing up into the bathroom, into your house. It's going to be a dirty, putrid environment. Well, oftentimes this is what happens in the body. The lymph nodes are over full. We have rock solid, hard lymph nodes. They're not breaking down the waste. They're full of toxic matter, and it's acidifying. And when the lymph nodes back up, that waste goes into the tissue, into the cells, and that is ultimately the root cause of a lot of disease. It's it's a toxemia. It is too much toxic waste for the body to deal with, and now it's causing you problems. And when that toxemia sits there, it's not moving, it's stagnant, it acidifies, it putrefies, it inflames, and that is ultimately arguably one of the main causes of disease. And so what causes that? What are the factors that actually cause that to happen? And these are just a few ideas to think about. We've got high protein diets. When we're on high protein diets, it's very difficult for our body to digest and break down. A lot of those proteins are undigestible, and they get stuck in the capillaries, they get stuck in the arteries, in the arterioles, and we have little bits of undigested proteins floating around, blocking areas of movement inside the body. And so we've really got to be careful of that. Lack of exercise. If we're not moving that lymph. Unhealed trauma. The relationship between trauma and the body it's very extensive, it's very interesting. Look into Dr. Hamer's work, German New Medicine, to find out a little bit more about that. No sunshine. Sunshine really helps regulate a lot of activity inside of our body, helps open up our pores in our skin, helps with elimination. Mineral deficiencies, arguably one of the main ones. If we're mineral deficient, you better believe we're going to have a lot of different problems inside the body. A lot of those biochemical processes that need to happen are not going to happen, and we've got to be careful of that. And it's a very difficult one to tackle, because the food supply and agriculture is changing and shifting as we know it, and we are being chemically bombarded with and also given foods that lack the minerals, lack the nutrients, lack the density, because of all the pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, you name it. It's really damaging the soil, and we're not getting the food quality that we need. Stored emotions, again, stored emotions wreak havoc in the body. They can accumulate in the body, cause tension, and cause acidity in the body. And we've got to be really aware of how we're allowing emotions move through us. And if we're blocking that, if we're keeping that stagnant, you better believe that's going to manifest itself in some form of dis-ease. Lack of spiritual connection. This is a multi-layered view on health. If we're not anchored in a spiritual truth, we can call that God, some call it source. If we're not anchored in that and allowing that to move through us in a healthy and efficient way, we're going to find it hard to understand reality for the way it is. We're going to find it hard to fit certain connections, and we're going to, ultimately be more swayed in different directions. And so we need that spiritual anchoring. Well, what are the factors? We've just covered that. And what are the solutions? So here are just some more specific solutions on how we can get the lymph flowing again, how we can get it moving, because that is the ultimate goal in detoxification, is we want to get the lymph system moving. If the lymph is moving, we do not get back up in the septic tank. We do not get a backup in our cells and in our tissues, and we do not get an over-acidified body. Rebounding. Rebounding is that little trampoline you can jump on, right? This jumping movement, this kind of, a lot of people call it this gravitational force, or this moment. Let's just call it a kind of downward force. If we're constantly doing that on a rebounder, we're moving that lymph, great for getting everything moving and opening up. Inversions is another one, handstands, pull-ups, things of that nature, skipping. These are really going to help move the lymph. Detoxification. So that's a very broad term, but what do I mean by that? I mean embodying that process of detoxifying, getting yourself maybe on a herbal protocol with some lymphatic herbs and formulas that are going to help usher and move some of those things, out and pull those acids out of the body. Then we've got high fruits. Fruits are one of the most astringent foods on the planet. What does astringent mean? Astringency is their ability to pull mucosa out the body. And so when you're on high fruits in your detox, you're going to get things pulled out the body, you're going to get things moving, and that's why, for example, read the book The Grape Cure by Johanna Brandt. Powerful, powerful book to learn more about how grapes specifically, but fruits in general, can pull acidity and pull mucosa out the body. And that's what you need when you want to move the lymph. Remineralizing the body. Again, with things like superfoods like shilajit, adaptogens, chaga, reishi, mushrooms, tonkat, and plenty of others, Irish moss, dense in minerals that we do not get from our foods. That's going to help regulate a lot of biochemical processes in the body, and that's going to help move the lymph too. And so, again, these are some great solutions you can start working on today. And that sums up the lymphatic system. I hope this video has been educational, it's been informative for you. And again, please don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, share, comment wherever you're watching this. Help support this channel grow. And just as a ending and a closing to this video, I am offering detoxification coaching. I am a certified detox specialist at the School of Healing Arts and Sciences, which is run by one of the most prominent, most successful and influential people in the detox space, and that is Dr. Robert Morse. And so I use a lot of his teachings and a lot of my own understandings that I've gathered over 8-9 years of research, of experimentation, of implementation, and my knowledge on holistic well-being. I've been living a holistic life for 5-6 years plus, and I know the tools, I know the tricks. I see everything in a holistic view, and I can help you in your detox journey. If you want to get well, if you want to improve your health, please don't be afraid to DM me, click the links below, get in touch, get in contact, and we can take that further. Much love, everybody. Hope you enjoyed.